It's nothing like a good old-fashioned ghost story. Or I guess it's a witch story. But I think she was possessed by a demon, so it's a good old-fashioned ghost of a demon-possessed witch story. Yeah.
Pain has a face. Allow me to show it to you.
Hi, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Death Twitch, and I'll be your horror host, Eric Harrison. Now, don't fear, I have not abandoned my old school horror roots, just getting a few of these new movies out of the way, but hey, if you're gonna talk about one, might as well talk about a good one, The Conjuring from 2013.
What are you guys?
We've been called demonologists, paranormal researchers.
They've investigated the Amityville Horror and the haunting in Connecticut. On July 19th, their most terrifying case
There's a lady in a dirty nightgown that I see in my dreams.
begins.
Look what she made me do.
The Conjuring, rated R, July 19th.
Okay, first of all, I want to say that I'll be judging this movie based on its merits as a film and not based on how it compares to the real life story of what actually happened. So I won't be saying, you know, it sucks because it didn't live up to what really happened. It didn't live up to the facts. Like, I don't even know the real story that well, but I'm judging this based on it itself as a movie, okay? Alright, so The Conjuring was released in 2013 and directed by James Wan. It stars a bunch of actors whose names I can't remember and they're gonna be pissed about it, but fuck them. Don't literally butt fuck them, but seriously, fuck them. No, it's all good. Hey, let's move on. Well, James Wan is a pretty decent director, and you can see it in the way he tells this story. The way he can introduce us to the characters and make it all a part of the flow of what's going on. Speaking of which, like, I think the cinematography of this movie is absolutely fucking gorgeous. The way the camera is always flowing through a scene around the house, introducing characters and actors and showing us things that we need to see. It's so beautiful. The camera work in this movie is amazing. It's breathtaking to watch. I know I'm just kissing this movie's ass, but not every movie does this. Some movies will just put a camera there and that's it. And that can be fine too. Anything's better than shaky cam. But the way this thing just glides around the scene, I dig it so much. It really pulls me in, and I'm just like fascinated by this form of storytelling. So as a movie, there's a scene in kind of the beginning-ish where they show the Warrens like going in to investigate this other case, and then they tell the homeowners like, yeah, it's really nothing. You got some like creaky boards. So there's your problem. And then I like that they say that. They literally say like, yeah, no, most of these aren't real ghost hauntings or whatever. Usually there's a rational explanation. It kind of grounds the movie in a little bit of a reality. They're not these kind of ghost hunters that are off just looking to make a buck or make themselves famous by always saying, oh God, it's a fucking demon. They'll be like, no, sorry, you don't really have a haunting. And that's cool. It grounds the movie and it helps ground these characters. Speaking of the characters, these are really one of the biggest stars of the movie, besides the creepiness and the slow pace and the scares, is these characters are all really likable. All of them across the board, which is not always common in a movie. Usually you get some characters and you like some and you don't like others, even if you're supposed to like them all. Sometimes the actors can't portray them correctly or whatever, or they're just bad and it pulls you out. But in this one, Ed and Lorraine Warren, I buy that they are this kind of a pure goody-goody kind of couple. They're really pure and they love each other and you believe it, and it's like, aw. And then the couple with the haunting problem, they're just really down to earth. They're like everyday people that you can relate to, them and their family and all their little girls. You can really relate to these people, and they're all very nice characters and you want to see them all pull through. Now, I did mention before, I want to say again that one of the things that I love is the pacing of this movie. Sure, you get your jump scares, you get your scares here and there, but I like how they just kind of draw things out. It's not a huge rush to get to the next scare, but then this slow pace builds over the course of the movie into this very exciting, kind of fast-paced climax. I want to say, I said in my top 10 modern horror movies, that this is a solid film, in my opinion. And I'm gonna reiterate that this is a fucking solid movie. They knew exactly how and when to introduce characters, when it was time to get to a scare, or when it was time to have a fake out. They knew exactly how to build the pace slow. Don't rush. Build it slow. Let the audience get pulled in, and then build up the pace and get to that edge of your seat excitement at the end when they're trying to exorcise the demon witch ghost out of this lady. Now, there's a few things about the movie that kind of throw me off. Not a lot. Like I said, almost all of it I can totally dig and buy into. There's a scene where the dad is out of town and the mom is there with the kids by herself, and so she's checking on the kids and everybody's asleep. And then she hears this massive fucking racket. It turns out like one of the demon ghosts knocked all the paintings and the pictures off the wall. But like seriously, nobody else in the house heard that. It was loud as fuck. It woke up people in my own house. Nobody else in the house in this movie heard all that racket to get up and help their mom. So I didn't say it was completely perfect and without flaws, but that's a small little nitpick. I have a few other things. I like the fact that there's no final jump scare. You think there's going to be when they're closing in on the little music box thing, and you think there's going to be a roar, and there's nothing like that, and that's what fucking good movies do right. You don't need a stupid jump scare all the time. You don't need one at the end of the movie. You don't need it to be so predictable. In this movie definitely doesn't always succeed, but definitely tries to stay away from the predictability, and it goes for a more straightforward telling of this ghost story, which I totally enjoy. Now, something I can do without is the end quote at the end of the movie. I'm not even an atheist, but this whole thing of like putting out, yeah, religion's real and God and devil, and it's like you could have done without that. Don't push that shit on me. You know what I'm saying? The whole movie I was totally loving this thing, and then all of a sudden I feel like I'm getting religion pushed on me at the end. Could have done without it. So we also get the introduction of Annabelle, and basically this is like the beginning, I guess, of the Conjuring cinematic universe. They tease Annabelle at the beginning. Good idea, get people into the next movies. I've actually never seen any of the other Annabelle movies, but I know I need to check them out eventually. I haven't heard good things, but I guess I will probably wind up checking them out at some point. Alright, so The Conjuring took me by surprise. I wasn't really expecting to love it as much as I do, but damn, this movie really crept its way into my heart. I just like the form of storytelling that they didn't feel rushed to get there, and they don't feel like the need to throw a jump scare at you every 7 to 9 minutes. So I'm actually going to give it a 4 out of 5. I consider it a pretty solid damn-ass movie. I like it. Now, since I know I'm going to inevitably get asked about The Conjuring 2, I'll give you like a bonus tiny mini review of The Conjuring 2 right now. So what I hear, general word on the street, is a lot of people say that they think The Conjuring 2 is the better movie. And that depends on the person and what you're into. For me, the first Conjuring is my jam. I like The Conjuring 2. I think it's pretty decent, especially for a sequel. There's some excellent scenes in there. But there's also some stuff that I feel is just shoehorned in. You can tell the studio execs had a hand in some of these scenes. Specifically between the Warrens, Ed and Lorraine, it felt like they felt a need to keep reminding us, oh, remember how pure and in love they are, remember? It's like, I do, that was established in the first movie, and you established it again in the second one. You don't have to keep fucking pushing that on me. There's a couple of scenes with them that really feel just forced in. They're like, we need more Ed and Lorraine. Put them in there, make them look lovey-dovey. I could do without that. And the Crooked Man, while the effect is cool, does kind of ruin my suspension of disbelief a little bit. Again, I think The Conjuring 2 is pretty damn decent, but I'm going to go with The Conjuring 1 as my favorite. Anyway, thanks for joining me and putting up with, another quick modern horror movie review. I'll be jumping back into my old school stuff soon enough, and I'll catch you guys on the next videos. Peace out then.